This is Mirage. Mirage makes a living as a travel writer. He loves motorcycling, golf, playing the guitar, and just bumming around. He's decided to travel for a year to find himself. About time.
This is Johan. Johan is a photographer. Johan is Swedish, but he's lived and worked in 4 continents. He's done some pretty interesting gigs along the way. Johan's current obsession is shooting astral time lapses. He plans to backpack in India for a year of travel and adventure. How do you define adventure? It's become another one of those overused cliches used to describe all sorts of mundane experiences. Every time I hear the word, I am reminded of those seafaring explorers in medieval times setting off on the high seas with absolutely no idea where they were going. That was adventure. But how are we expected to seek out new frontiers in modern times? In my mind, adventure begins where my comfort zone ends. And by that yardstick, my friend Johan, who is from a small village outside Stockholm and on his way to India right now, is embarking on his India adventure. Together, we plan to go to places that people don't go to, and we want to hang out with people who've made that difficult decision to step out of their comfort zones and do something different with their lives. I'm going to meet Johan in Bhimtal. Bhimtal is the first city in the hills that you arrive at when you drive from Delhi through the plains and into Kumaon. Kumaon is the eastern half of the North Indian state of Uttarakhand. And at just about 6 hours driving time from Delhi, it's the go-to escape for the capital's beleaguered citizens like me. In the spirit of our endeavour, while I wait for Johan, I am going to climb Karkotak Peak, one of the highest mountains in Bhimtal. And I'm going to climb it with Karan Kaushik, an ex-journalist who's now a professional mountaineer and lives in Bhimtal. Where is Argos? Argos!
He'll find his way
He
here.
will, huh?
So this walk is part of my training schedule, yeah?
You do this every day?
Conditioning in here.
Wow, Argos, loser. It's one or the other, right? I mean, don't you miss some aspects of city life?
I mean, I certainly do.
I know.
I definitely miss it's a lot lonelier here.
I can imagine.
But the trade-off is that I get to have a much deeper interaction with the environment. Yeah? I know where my water is coming from. I know where my food is coming from.
I guess. I mean, now you got to be really worried about where your food is coming from. Wow. You really can't imagine when you meet him now, but once upon a time, Karan was a journalist living in Delhi, chasing down stories, battling deadlines. Today, he's a professional mountaineer. Even his German Shepherd, Argos, is a trained search and rescue dog. I can just imagine Karan having his eureka moment. He was probably on top of a mountain somewhere just like this, and suddenly it struck him, hey, why don't I do this for a living? How did you find this place? I mean, it's a great walk, but like, how did you chanced upon it?
I mean, I didn't chance upon it, but if you're down in Bhimtal, you can see all the ridges of these small hills, mountains, whatever you want to call them. So wherever I live, I try to make an effort to explore all the ridges. So I've walked all of these ridges. And a friend of mine told me there's a temple up here.
So it's that Karkotak Nagmandir. It's quite an old temple.
It's a very old temple. It's quite a I don't know if it's historic, but definitely has a mythological story behind it. In fact, this is the Kumaon, you know, it's known for the lakes and the mythology behind the lakes.
Right.
So one of the great things about living here is that it's sort of halfway between the plains and the high mountains. Yeah. So you have access to.
Correct. This is like, I mean, it took us about 6-7 hours from Delhi. That's about it.
It takes you 7 to 8 hours on a decent day. Yeah. In 8 hours, you can be in the hills. You can have fresh air. That's the most important thing for me, you know, because if you're trying to live a healthy life, sure, what you eat is what you don't eat. The exercise is important, but it's also important to just breathe fresh air. And in Delhi, it's not possible anymore.
You know, that's what, because I was at a bouldering festival last year, and somebody had an issue of the Alpinist magazine, and I was going through it, and I saw this piece on ice climbing, and then I was looking at the byline, and that was by you, and I was like. And it said the author lives in Bhimtal. I'm like, Bhimtal?
So that's how you found me then.
Yeah, I'm like, firstly, I didn't know that any Indian authors contribute to that magazine. And then I mean, I've been coming to Bhimtal for a while, so I was like, I haven't met this bloke, and your name didn't sound like you were a local, and that's how I said, okay. So I asked around, and they said, yeah, he lives here, so call him, and that's how I kind of found.
Well,
you.
I was born in Pune.
But mountaineering, huh? That is what you do for a living, huh, Karan?
I do mountaineering for a living. I guide expeditions for a living. I organize trips for a living. But I also focus a lot on my own personal climbs.
Right.
So I'm very committed to sort of raising the level of climbing and mountaineering in India and bringing it on par with the international standard.
Wow, चलें?
पहले यार मंदिर देख लेते हैं. So how did you decide? What are you doing here? Yeah.
I've come here just to meet you, yeah. No, but seriously, bro, I'm just on a, I'm just, I want to go to places where people don't go. I want to take some time out. I want to just meet people like you, explore new places. Actually, it's not just me. One second. There's me and there's this Swedish guy, Johan, who I met. He's a photographer. So I figured that, he could click pictures and I could write and we could just travel around the country and overseas, wherever.
Right.
Like literally backpacking for a year with absolutely no plan in mind. So that's the idea. What's the next expedition you're off on, or which is the last one that you did?
The last expedition I did was in the Barashigiri Glacier. Yeah.
Where is that?
The Barashigiri Glacier is on the border of Lahaul and Spiti. It's between Lahaul, Kullu Valley and Spiti Valley. And I went with a Canadian earth scientist who's also a climber, a girl called Taylor. It's my second expedition with her, and this time our focus was we wanted to see the climate change से अपने ग्लेशियरों पे क्या असर पड़ रहा है. Because I've been doing this now for 10 years, which is not a long time.
But you must have already seen the difference, right?
I see it. I see it with my eyes. And now, it's so worrying that we want to find some way to communicate this to the larger public, in a sense, yeah.
Ooh, now I can feel the walk. I can. I was being a little cocky up there, but gosh, we left in the morning and it's already like most of the day is
It was a pretty long day, yeah.
Pretty long day.
You guys did really well.
Well, it's the first day out, so ठीक है. कुछ कॉफी वॉफी पिलाओ यार.
चलो, I think you've earned it. Yeah.
कुछ खाना खिलाओ, कुछ तो करो. खिदमत हमारी करो.
Meat masala.
मीट मसाला खिलाओ. Roads in the hills go around in circles and tend to confound your natural sense of direction. To get to Satal from Bhimtal, the road meanders north before tracing a convoluted path down to the lake, a 13-kilometer drive that can take anywhere between 30 minutes to 45 minutes. On the map though, Satal is literally a couple of hillsides to the north of Bhimtal. And if you do decide to walk, then not only is it much shorter, but it goes through some of the most pristine forest in the area. Hi Gauri.
Hi Miraj bhai, nice to see you, man.
Good to see you too, yeah, but why have you called me to June Estate? I was supposed to head to Satal.
This is where I live, no? So I thought we'll go from the back route this time.
So what, are you going to walk to the camp?
Yeah, 3
But
kilometers.
isn't it really far?
3 kilometers. Hope you can make it, man. Let's go.
Gauri's family is originally from Kathmandu in Nepal. They moved to India in the early 20th century and set up base in Bhimtal. Once upon a time, Gauri's family owned a chunk of the 1,000-acre Jones estate that extends all the way from Bhimtal till the edge of Satal. Gauri is a naturalist, a wildlife enthusiast, passionate about his angling and a keen trekker. How long have you been walking this trail, Gauri?
24 years now, yeah.
24, huh? So, Gauri, how much has this forest changed in the 24 years or so you've been traveling?
It's changed hell of a lot, man. It's changed hell of a lot. Look at all these trees now. These are all thin, small trees.
Gee.
Changing weather patterns has led to lots of forest fires.
Right.
So trees are not growing to that big length. Now, for example, look at this one.
What is this, a pine?
It's a pine tree. Pinus roxburghi. It's about 80 to 90 years old.
How do you know that?
Like that.
Achha, aise?
Achha,
you know how this is 80 to 90 years old?
It's a mota idea. For my height,
right.
I cannot hug a bigger tree, I'd be like that.
Achha, okay.
So this is 80 to 90 years old.
Which is fairly old, right? Or no?
Fairly old, but we had trees like 300, 400-year-old trees. Now no longer there. Storms, forest fires, stuff like that, decimating the forests.
So what, forest fires, that's the primary reason that you've lost so much forest cover here?
That is one of the major reasons.
Right.
Forest fires, burning all the new trees that are growing. All the plantations have been wiped out.
Right.
So see, if there's no plantations every year, if you don't continue doing it, don't cut fire lines to stop fires from spreading all over,
Right.
It's not going to happen. Forests are not going to be regenerated.
So what are you doing something about it?
We are replanting. That's the best we can do. The forest department has to cut the fire lines, and the village, the one
So you are replanting big time?
We are replanting at least 10 to 15,000 trees a year.
Oh, this is a private effort entirely?
It's a private effort, of course, funded by friends.
Right.
Nothing to do with the government.
Oh yeah, it costs money, right?
It costs money, yeah. It costs money. It costs a huge amount of money. And then taking care of those trees, saving them, cutting our own fire lines to stop fires from encroaching upon the growth.
You've done some of this around here?
I've done it down by the camp. Now this year, the district forest officers, the DFOs and the conservators, we went to them, approached them for trees and all that. So they helped us. They helped us, yeah. They gave us several thousand trees on the house. Come.
I was watching this very fascinating story on Indonesia. And Indonesia, there is a massive culture to catch birds, and especially these songbirds. And it was a fascinating and sad documentary about how the forests have fallen silent.
Yeah.
You can't hear birds anymore.
It's happening here, but it's happening here for other reasons.
What are the other reasons?
The reasons is pine trees don't support birds.
Pine trees don't support anything, right?
They support oak. There's a shortage of oak now. If you look down, it's just after the monsoons. We have plenty of grass just now.
Right.
For fodder.
Right.
But once this dries up,
Right.
then the oak leaves are the only fodder we have.
The large acreage of Jones Estate that Gauri's family still owns is one of the few remaining havens for wildlife in the region. Gauri lives by his own rules. Some even consider him a tad eccentric. He refuses to extend an electricity line to the camp that he runs in Satal and likes to frighten his guests with spooky stories.
What a gorgeous place this is, Gaurav. This is like do you stop here and sort of think about things and...
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, but see, forest like this, it's an island now. You've got habitations all over.
Right.
And this is an island of forest. So now, to make wildlife and plants and stuff like that to regenerate here, we have to go into island topography and island conservations. That's how now the studies are happening, that we have to study our forest as if they're islands. And again, talking about island, this island, like every other island here, forest islands, we have our own supernatural spirits here.
Supernatural spirits? So this is a hill thing, na? Bhoot Bhat.
No, Bhoot Bhat nahi, something we have here, it's very common, it's called the Kichkanni.
The Kichkanni?
She's the local witch.
Local witch?
She has a house there in the village. Huh?
Oh, this is not like some sprite or something. This is a genuine flesh and blood person.
Her great-grandchildren have children now.
Oh.
And she's as old as she was when I was here 24, 25 years ago. When I started the camp, she used to work for me. And genuine lady when you start off with. But every full moon, she needs male blood. So it's very rampant. Huh? So tonight, when you go to the camp, I'm going to ask you not to be alone. We have to stay together.
Why?
Because she can easily come in the guise of your girlfriend or wife or sister and take you away into the forest and suck your half your blood out.
Okay, I'm finding a very hard time keeping a straight face here. If you're saying if she needs blood every full moon...
No. Once a year she will have to...
Oh, once a year? Okay.
To once a year to survive the next year.
So how do you know it's going to be tonight then?
It's not tonight. It's not a full moon either.
Oh, it's not a full moon either. Oh, so you just... this is... But it's a good spiel to give people who come into the camp.
No, it's a good way to put people to bed soon.
So are you trying to tell me, I hope you're not going to bed soon tonight, huh?
No, we'll be there in the campfire.
Campfire, what's the plan?
We'll have some campfire, we'll do some barbecue, let's see what we can
drink some club soda.
Club soda, coffee, soup, yeah, if you like.
रात रानी फूले जय साँझमा तिमी फुल्यो कलेजी माझमा मनको रहरा कान्छीलाई घुमाउने काठमाडौँ सहर ये तो सुना होगा आपने कान्छीलाई घुमाउने काठमाडौँ सहर
That's not even required. You can be on.
रात दिउँला पोते दिउँला माया बासेर मेरो जीवन छ यो जङ्गलमा बसेर रात रानी फुले जय माझमा म त
Wow. What a night, huh?
The next morning, Gauri and I leave the camp the regular way, which is anything but regular. You walk through dense forest for half an hour and then take a boat across Sattal. It's the kind of place you could never get to unless you knew exactly where you were going.
Here we are finally to your boat, man.
Damn, I don't want to go back, yeah. Anyway, lot of adventures. So, you know, I'm going to try and make it for your fishing carnival.
Please do that, yeah. If you can do it, it will be great, man.
Chetan bhai. Dhanyavad. Okay then.
Walk on the center, yeah.
I'm doing just that, sir. I'm a centrist.
Take care, man.
See you, Gorda. Thank you for everything.
Thanks so much. Go easy, go
Next
cool.
time.
Yeah.
See you, Gorda. Bye.
It's a pity Johan wasn't here last night. He should get here today. Besides his exhilarating company, I am just looking forward to not having to worry about taking any photographs. Man overboard. Floundering in the throbbing haze of a night out with Gauri, iHeart Cafe and its promise of freshly brewed caffeine comes not a moment too soon. I couldn't have missed it. To say that it stands out in Bhimtal is an understatement.
Johan, hi. Listen, there is this small cafe on the on my right, on the right side of the road when I'm coming from Sattal towards Bhimtal. I'm just going to get off and have coffee. Yeah, why don't you come and we'll rendezvous here? Yeah, it's this. It's called iHeart. It's a red brick building. Yeah, it'll be on your left when you come. Yeah, it has a parking, so you'll see some vehicles on the side of the road. Cool. All right. See you then. Bye.
True to appearances, there's fresh coffee on the pot, there's free Wi-Fi, and a convivial ambience, a lot like the co-working space I operate out of back in Delhi.
Tim and Liz grew up in a small town called Helena in the state of Montana in the United States. Young and idealistic, they came to India in 2005 with an intent of doing something good before settling for a career back home in Montana. Little did they know that they would grow to call Bhimtal their home. They've been in India for 15 years now. They dabbled in various small businesses before opening a small cafe called iHeart a couple of years ago. Brewing a perfect cuppa, working with a wonderful team, and meeting a diverse bunch of customers such as us are some of the perks their venture offers.
Oh, look who's there, Johan. I forgot what you look like, bro. Oh, you look cruel, man. Like straight out of a Stieg Larsson like book, man. Unsavory character. I'm sorry I didn't wait for you.
That's alright.
I got bored waiting for you, so I figured I might as well just leave. What have you been up to? How was Stockholm?
Well, I was up in Sweden because it's high season now for shooting the Northern Lights and that.
You got some shots?
I did get some good time lapses from the Aurora Borealis up there.
Fantastic.
Did see some shooting stars too. And there's actually two meteor showers going on right now.
Right now is what? This
Yeah.
this time?
It's on right now.
You want to see some of the stuff I've been doing? I'll show you some pictures, man.
Let's check it out.
Let me show you some stuff. That's not in the national park, eh? That's outside.
Hey man, sorry to interrupt, but you guys doing all right?
Yeah, man, as good as we can be after a full day's work.
I've just noticed you guys have been here all day and thought I'd come over and say hi.
I'm Miraj.
I'm Tim.
Johan?
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Can I get you anything else?
No, man, I don't think we can handle any more coffee. We're completely wired.
Yeah? Well, do you mind if I sit for a sec?
Yeah, go for it. Man, have a seat there. Great cafe you got, Tim.
Yeah, appreciate that.
What brings you to Bhimtal, bud?
You know, my wife and I came out to India when we were young, before we had careers in the States, before we had started a family.
Right.
And we came out here because we wanted to do something that was, positive, something socially responsible. And that's kind of what started us on our journey here in India.
Wow, so you're doing some development work as well, basically.
Well, I want to do as much as I can with what I've been given, you know, and so through my business, I want to make sure that I'm as environmentally friendly as possible, or that I'm as socially responsible as possible, so that we take, you know, those things quite serious. So what's the plan? You guys are wandering more throughout Kumaon, or you're gonna head back?
Well, the only plan is no fixed plan. Really.
Yeah.
We have no plans really. We're just taking it as it comes. And we want to shoot a meteor shower, we'll go shoot a meteor shower. We want to go to Kasar Devi at some point. When we figure we have nothing else to do, then we'll probably head there. We really have.
Sounds
We're at a loose end. Really.
Sounds like a good thing to
Bunch
do.
of backpackers on a loose end with absolutely nothing meaningful to do.
Exploration and documentation.
Well, you have picked a great place. People like you I could see every day. I'd be happy about that. Come on in.
Careful what you wish for.
Great to meet you, brother.
Cheers, bro. Cheers.
Take
Thanks, Liz. Thanks for the coffee.
Thank you.
We're on our way, and that just seems so much more important than where we are headed. I suppose at some point we will go to Kasar Devi, where Johan can shoot his meteor showers and astral time lapses. But that's about as far as we'll go when it comes to planning for the future.
Hi, I'm Miraj. ये मेरे मित्र हैं योहान. Welcome to I'm showing him your village and your region. So we wanted to paraglide. So you guys, are you flying right now? बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं. बिल्कुल कर सकते हैं. फॉर्म भरिए. What is the indemnity bond? Nobody is responsible if this is your last flight. Name. 30, bro. Huh? 30 is not light.
30 years old.
Right now, swooping over Nokuchiatal and Bhimtal on this paraglider 2000 meters above sea level, this moment is all that really matters. Johan is keen to shoot an astral time-lapse of the meteor showers, and that's our cue to head up to Kasar Devi, a pretty hamlet in the hills just above Almora.